In the question, who am I, is the who and the I one and the same? Put away the who. Say only I. You will see when you say I that you cannot think it. You cannot represent or formulate it. This pronoun is the only word you cannot think. So it brings you immediately back to your verticality. Then in just I, there's no question. Yes. Please elaborate on what you said earlier. That is, that the object changes, but the subject never changes. The subject is the eternal subject. It was before your father gave semen to your mother. It was before. It will be forever. I was wondering what your background and training are to come to these teachings. When we speak of a background, I would say you must free yourself from the teaching, because there is nothing to teach. What you are, fundamentally, you are it. It is your nearest. It is before the idea, the thought of being somebody appears. So what is important is that you must accept that what you are looking for, you already are. There is nothing to become, nothing to achieve, nothing to gain or take. All this takes you away from what you are. Well, in my opinion, since we are not yet consciously realized, some teaching helps. The moment you find the opportunity in your life to ask the question, who am I? You will take note that all you can find is memory. You already know it. All that you know is an experience, a state. But what you are can never be known or experienced as an object or a state. When this really hits you, you must take note how it reacts on you. That is very important, not just seeing it, but feeling how the seeing acts on you. Then there is a stop, and you are freed from all striving, all end gaining. This moment is not a moment according to your watch. It is timeless. You can never go to it. It comes to you. It is looking for you. So you must come to the moment of allowing it, of permitting it to come to you. But when you say come to you, who is the you that it comes to? It's a way of speaking. One could say he is looking for himself. Can an awareness of relativity coexist with oneness? Of course. You know moments when awareness refers to an object, when you are aware of something. But there are also moments in daily life when there is no reference to anything. Then there is I am. But in this I am, there is not a knower. It is knowing. When you walk in the forest in the morning and see the rising sun, is there a knower at this moment? You can make an object of it, but there are moments when there is simply walking, simply admiring. Where does action or doing emanate from? It is a robbery for the personality, the me, to appropriate an action to itself. Because in the moment of acting, there is no doer. A doer is a concept. It doesn't exist. When you see things from your globalness, your totality, there is no choice. There is no selection. You completely face facts. Real action comes from the situation, and every situation has its own solution. But the action that comes from the facts of the situation does not go through the choosing, selecting mind. It is direct, instantaneous. You know perfectly well these spontaneous moments in daily life. And you know also when the I, the me, puts them in question, which you should never do. If there is only action, what about right and wrong? The problem of right and wrong has no more role to play. When there is spontaneous action, there is no question of right or wrong. You do it spontaneously. But you do distinguish between spontaneous and impulsive action, don't you? Yes, impulses are reactions, habits, based on the person, on memory and conditioning. Many of us are conditioned by these impulses, and there are techniques for deconditioning ourselves. Listen, the first thing is to be more and more acquainted with your body. Inquire what happens in your body. For some moments in your life, let the body become an object of your earnest observation. You must get to know your mechanism so that you are not bound to it. The body is mainly feeling. I would say it is only feeling sensation. So as soon as you inquire into this sensation, you will discover reactions and defenses, fear, anxiety, aggression, all on the level of the body, in the muscles and bones and tissue. Become acquainted with all this. Don't escape it. Don't try to change it. Only take deep note of it. This is loving it. When you take deep note of it, you will no longer be an accomplice to it, and there will be a liberation of the fixed energy. The energy will integrate. This is the first thing, if we can speak of doing something at all. You said that right acting comes from seeing only the facts of the situation. Does this mean there is no creating situations? Exactly. So then one just sits and waits for situations? Yes. So things may appear to your imagination. You may become creative, but you are waiting. So I will have no role to play in creating situations? But that conjures up an image of total passivity. Oh no, you are passive active. Passive in that you don't interfere as a me, a pseudo I, but you are eminently creative and active in looking at it free from memory. For it is memory which hinders you from being creative. Memory is the basket in which we have put things for thousands and thousands of years. But will I not be the author of creating situations? No, you are a channel, but not an author. It is the divine play which plays through you. But what about all the situations I want to create? It is only the me, the personality, who wants to create those situations for its security. When you are on stage as an actor, you must be free from being an actor in order to be creative. You cannot create creativity. Creativity is a gift which comes to you when you are free from yourself, free from the idea of being an independent entity. This active passivity is difficult to maintain when there are people who depend upon you and act towards you as if you were supposed to be making decisions for them. This pulls me back into the personality, and that makes me very frustrated. The teacher must be free from his teaching. When the teacher is free from the teaching, he or she is no longer a teacher and no longer projects anything onto the disciple. When there is no longer a disciple who is qualified as ignorant and a teacher who has a teaching, then there is a coming together. There is togetherness. What is important is that the teacher, if we can still call him or her a teacher, helps the disciple be free from being a disciple, be free from so-called unknowing. When you have to do with someone who teaches you, it is important that already at the beginning you experience a certain freedom from yourself. Otherwise, you must put the teaching in question. What brings you to a teacher is that you feel yourself bound. You feel yourself in bondage. And the only important thing is that the teacher frees you from bondage. Otherwise, it's not a teacher.